J.
All right, people, welcome back to the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, Jay Real, bringing you a Friday edition to the show, and we have a little twist here. We were going to cover some football and some basketball and some baseball. We're still going to cover some sports, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be focused primarily on a couple of events that have transpired over the sports week. And man, I'm going to tell you something, folks. This is exactly why I had to create the Average Joe Sports Talk Show, for us to have an avenue to dispute all of the other sports talk hosts and people out in the world that have a one-focused mind, have a one-focused goal, and it all comes from a particular avenue that doesn't necessarily go with the average people, and that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to have a show where your everyday person could come online, come on the show, come sit and be co-host, and not have to have some big degree from some big college or some big school and have all of this big, huge resume about sports. If you're just a sports person, you've been watching it your whole life, hey, that's good enough for us. We believe that you have a say, and we want to hear it right here on the Average Joe Sports Talk Show. So let's just dive right on in. The first thing we're going to talk about was yesterday, pretty much all day long, and pretty much most of this morning as well. All we kept hearing about on Sports Talk Radio is Alex Rodriguez, and how this guy is such a disgrace, how this guy's name and reputation and basically everything about the guy is garbage. You know what I have to say about that? Everyone that feels that way is an idiot, because here we got a guy that, yes, took PEDs, he got an advantage to play a sport, but folks, we're talking about somebody who was the best of the best when it comes to baseball for many years. He played injured. He has many reasons why he took PEDs. Not necessarily all of them are to just be a better player. He has mentioned that during recoveries, he needed them to fully recover from injury. And again, do we have a problem with a baseball player being injured and needing some help recovering? Now, did he continue using the PEDs after that? We don't know. All we do know is that he did use them during recovery processes, and now with this new investigation going on by Major League Baseball, it just seems like everyone is piling on Alex Rodriguez as far as his career and the just disgrace that they call this guy. And I have to say, that's bull crap. This guy was on the verge of being one of the best baseball players ever to play the game, and now because of the PED situation, everyone wants to call him a loser. All we're going to say is he was the best with an advantage taking PEDs. I have no problem with Alex Rodriguez. Anyone that I've talked to doesn't think of him as a disgrace. Are we disappointed? Sure, you're always disappointed when you look at your heroes or someone that you really idolize in sports, movies, acting, whatever you want to call it, and they let you down because you, for whatever reason, think it's just all natural ability that they're able to play at this high level or be at the highest level of whatever field they're in. Arod, yes, disappointed millions of people, but to call him a disgrace, to call him a piece of crap, a loser, a nobody, that's just someone being a hater and someone totally not understanding what sports is about. Because guess what, guys? There are so many more athletes out there that we don't even know of that are taking PEDs and getting away with it every single day. And it's not just baseball, people. It's all kinds of sports. So for right now, we're going to go on record saying that we stand behind Alex Rodriguez. Yes, he should take some punishment for taking PEDs. And yes, there might need to be some asterisks next to any kind of records, because he did fully open and discuss his usage of PEDs. But as far as banning the guy from baseball for life, as far as calling this guy a disgrace to baseball, give me a freaking break. If Arod deserves to be taken out of baseball for life, then you might as well line up a long list with Milky Cabrera, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens. I mean, the list would be, baseball would have hardly anything to look at over the last 20 years. That is an asinine thing to say, and I hate to say it, I'll break it down with real, because I got to be real with you folks. It seems like it's coming from these white analysts that just think because someone that is not white, that was at the best of their sport, makes a mistake, then now this is their way of chopping that person down. This is a way of mocking or making this person look like a total scumbag because, guess what, it wasn't a white player that was at the top of the position for however many years these guys are. And I'm just going to say it like that. I don't think there's that many people in the Mexican community or in the Latin community that have that many hard feelings towards Alex Rodriguez. I really don't. And if I'm wrong, come right on in the show, folks. Leave your feedback and comment and let me know if you're wrong. If you're any other nationality or race besides white that is slamming Alex Rodriguez and calling this guy a loser, scumbag, just the bottom of the barrel, the scum of the earth because he used PEDs in the baseball game or to play baseball, then leave feedback. We'd love to hear if I'm wrong. But right now we're going to say I'm probably right. Just a few folks in a non-white community will probably have negative things to say about Arod. Now, am I saying as 100% no? There are those few that will be, the difference of each race. But my gosh, man, Alex Rodriguez was a phenom, an amazing baseball player, and he deserves respect, even though he made a mistake, even though he's apologized for it. Now, should he fight if Major League Baseball wants to suspend him? This is the key question, folks. They are going to offer up probably 100 to 150 game suspension to Arod. Now, if he takes that suspension, he is still able to claim over $60 million worth of his contract money that remains. If he fights the MLB guys that be, which, I'm sure there's very few black and Mexican or Asian or anything. I'm sure it's a bunch of white individuals that will be overseeing this investigation and overseeing this suspension for Arod. He better not fight it, because I guarantee you they're going to slam him hard. They're going to throw the book at him. They're going to try to make an example of him. And knowing how dumb some of these guys can be and how hypocritical they can be, they would try to ban Arod from baseball for a lifetime. And that's just ridiculous. It's asinine. It's moronic. Whatever term you wish to use for it, that's what it would be. Arod does not deserve to be banned from baseball for life. That's ridiculous. So hopefully he will take a small ban. Now, can baseball use Arod a year down the road? He'd basically be suspended until the year 2015, I believe, would be his eligibility year. And the guy's already pushing 40. So maybe Arod has a lot to look at. But at the end of the day, Arod, this is our tip for you. Look at the $60 million that would be left on the table that you could still claim. Don't worry about playing baseball right now. Just worry about your future and take the punishment, take the suspension, and worry about what you're going to do with baseball after that time is up. That is our recommendation right here on the Average Joe Sports Talk Show for Arod. But we have no problem with Arod. We think he's a phenomenal player. We think he's done a lot for the sport. And my gosh, the Player Zone, who's one of our big sponsors, they have people coming in day after day, week after week, still trying to pick up his memorabilia, cards, autographs, posters, whatever you want, whatever they have. It's flying out the door for Arod. So give me a break with this. That his reputation is totally just in the gutter. He did take a hit. and he will have to deal with that. But as far as being a complete loser, zero, nobody, give me a break. It's not going to happen. Now, I have to get off my soapbox on that subject just to jump right back on another one, folks. It is getting to a point where I just can't even barely listen to sports talk radio anymore. One main reason is Riley Cooper. This guy is a receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, and all he has been getting is crap. And, I mean, they're trying to fire this guy. They are actually talking about him being cut from the NFL for saying the N-word at a country concert. Not even towards one of his other teammates, not even towards another player, not even towards an official. This was a guy on his own time going to a concert with friends and family, and he said the N-word. Are you freaking kidding me, people? Are we still at such a throwback time that you would look at something like that and act if it's the world is coming to an end? Because that's the way people are. That's the way talk show and sports show hosts have been acting about this all morning long. I've been having to listen to crap all morning long and been twittering out all morning long in defense of Riley Cooper. That's right. I'm not defending what he said, but I'm defending him as a person. People say things to hurt other people when they're mad. We've been learning that since we were little kids. You say things to hurt other people that you think will hurt other people. So are we going to really go out now and say that the N-word is such a shock, that the N-word is such frequently used that none of us can even tolerate it to be heard into our eardrums? That is the most asinine, ridiculous thing. And I keep using asinine today because I'm telling you folks, I've been so frustrated with the sports talk and the sports people that won't stand up and say, okay, was it wrong? Sure. But the N-word, folks, is no big deal nowadays. Blacks say it to each other. Black friends that are non-black say it to their black friends. Black friends even say it to guys that aren't black. The word has changed. It has evolved. Now, it is under context that you could look at this word. Yes, did he use it in a context that was meant to be friendly or to be an introduction to somebody or hello? No. But it's still the word. So right here at the Average Joe Sports Talk Show, we're going to say, you know what? To heck with everybody else that is so sensitive and so touchy that the word can impact them in their lives to make a change, to just go after someone's career and their livelihood. I have people calling us wetbacks, spics, you name it, they call us it. And you know what? It's no big deal. I think most of my friends and family, we are above all of that. Because you know what? It just doesn't impact us anymore. Maybe 30, 40 years ago, it would have been something. But in the year 2013, folks, most of the people look at racial slurs and racial jokes and laugh it off. Because you know what? There are so many more things in the world. We're about to go to nuclear war with China, for heaven's sake. We have freaking Russia sending nuclear missiles to allies of other foreign countries that we are not friendly with. And we're going to be actually starving children. Teachers not making enough money. Teachers not enough to provide good teaching for our kids. And we're going to really worry about the N-word? See, this is where we're coming at, folks. This is real. We're not going to go with every other white sportscaster or sports person and try to over-sympathize with the N-word. We understand it. We know what it meant and what it means today. And you know what? To be honest with you, many of my friends and many of the people that I know of all races, black, white, Mexican, Asian, whatever, it's not that big of a deal. Slavery ended a long time ago, people, and now the N-word has been used for many years as a whole different meaning. Now, I'm not trying to say I understand it or I can relate because I am not of African American descent, but I am also not of white American descent. So I have seen not only my family and friends, I have not only seen myself and people that are of color, just meaning non-white, go through some craziness. But you know what? You got to let it go. You got to move on and be more secure with your own self to let something like this just totally impact your life. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up Friday's show with just this, folks. We're glad you tuned in. We thank the Player Zone and all the different colors of people that come in here. We appreciate all the different colors of people that can come in and speak their mind and say whatever words they want to say out of their mouth, because you know what, it is a free country and we do love one another and we can laugh and joke and say just whatever we want to say, crazy or not, because you know what, there are so many other things more serious than words. That's it, just words. So people, we got to thank the Player Zone again, hooking us up at the house, hooking us up with everything. We can't thank them enough, so we can come to you at YouTube land and give you our fresh cuts and takes on all this craziness that's going on. It's just amazing how many people worry about the stupidest things and will just follow whatever everyone else is saying because it's politically correct, and it's politically correct to follow on a certain subject. But we're not going to do that. To heck with that. We don't follow everybody. We go against the grain. We go against the norm and what's politically correct to bring to you all what's right, what's true, and what's real. So, if you have a problem with it, leave feedbacks, comment. We'd be happy to hear it. We appreciate all the Twitterers and tweeting us all the information that we needed to hear today, because we had a lot of supporters actually backing up what I had to say on Twitter. So, what can I say? It was a great show. Had to get on my soapbox and let you all know how I felt and how we felt as a crew, as an Average Joe Sports Talk Show. And we hope you all have your own opinions and give us feedback, comments. Anyway, thank you very much for watching the show, and we will see you on Tuesday's show next week. Peace and much love. J Real signing out. J Real.